What's up, everyone? Welcome to the credit lecture. In this lecture, we're going to find out all the ways we can use credit in our lives. We're going to be talking about your Fico score, talking about credit cards, buying a car, student loans, and buying a house / renting. So let's go ahead and get into the lecture and get going. Welcome to the credit lecture video. In this unit, we're going to be talking how do we use credit in our everyday lives, or most common Americans use credit. Okay, so let's go jump right into it. What you will learn: demonstrate sound consumer decision making when purchasing goods or services and the effects they have on budgeting. Now, if you haven't already, you need to open up the lecture. And so we have this side by side because there's going to be a couple of videos and a couple pages that I want you to go look at. This first video is just telling you what our debt situation, so you're using credit, so that means you have debt, is currently at. So go ahead and watch this video. Absolutely amazing that we have that much, and look how fast we are spending this money. So truly intriguing. Now this next one is a very old one. I shouldn't say very old, but 2004, so yeah, probably pretty old. But this one just has some really good core concepts of like what it is for Americans and how we're spending money and what are we using credit for. So go ahead, take a look at this. It's a longer video. You can bounce around, but you should definitely get the main concepts from it. All right, now looking at the U.S. debt clock. So seeing this right here, this is the page which is unbelievable. So when you look at that, the one right now that I'm taking this, which is March 3rd, 2019, looking, we got $22 trillion, but this is pretty cool. This whole entire site tells you what's the mortgage debt, the total personal debt, student loan, credit card, right? So a lot of good things on this U.S. debt clock. And the cool thing is too is you can go to actually the state as well, so you can look at what Idaho is bringing in, has a population, unemployed, food stamps. So really cool stuff. All right, so that's what we're just looking at, kind of like the total debt, credit cards, student loans, mortgages, right? The savings versus debt. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what you're going to learn in this unit is cards, so credit cards, cars, houses, student loans, Fico score, and just general loan information. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is our Fico score. You will hear this a lot. What is your credit score? What is your credit score? Here is a graphic demonstrating what it is, okay, and how it is made up. So when you look, 65% of our credit score is the amount owed and our payment history. Okay? And this is very crucial. You have to pay on time. Okay, and then we break down these three smaller categories. What is your credit history? So how long, the new credit, and the types of credit. Now we look at a Fico score. Okay, here is the range, and truly it depends on which website you were looking at. Sometimes they combine them, so they might say like excellent is 750 and above, what is fair and what is poor. Truly, I will combine these as well. So in one assessment, I say what is an excellent credit score, and you say 750. I will roll with that. I'm not making you remember these exact breakdowns, but this is how we kind of look. The green, okay, you're going to get the lowest rates when taking out a loan. Yellow and orange, right, you'll be eligible, but you will not get the best rates. And then poor to very bad, you might not be able to get a loan, and if you do, they're going to have ridiculous interest rates. So yes, what this is saying is that penalize the people that cannot afford to pay back loans, has a bad history of it. You will get the worst rates and have to pay the most money on interest. Okay, so it's very sad, but very true. Now the credit bureaus. Okay, so there's three companies that make up our credit bureaus is TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. So when someone pulls your credit score, they're going to be pulling from one of these. These are not always the same. So it might be TransUnion is 750, Experian is 730, and Equifax is 760, right? So they're right around the same number, but they're not going to be the same number. All right, to really hammer this home, let's go ahead and watch this video between, I think, just a female and a male. I cannot remember their names right now, but go ahead and watch how having a credit score, a good credit score, will affect. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy when you're looking at how much the male is spending more towards his loan than the female just because he has a bad credit score. Okay, but again, he's proven that he is not trustworthy with money. So definitely these lenders are going to make sure that they get their bang for the buck. Now, the next thing that I want you guys to do is go ahead and click on this link. Okay, this is going to take us to My FICO, which breaks down everything that we're looking at with a FICO score. Okay, shows you how can you improve it, managing it, what is your FICO score, right? So again, just so much information here. This is a huge resource that you need to know. It's always good to have. Okay, it breaks everything down. And that is the end of this part one of the credit lecture. We'll be doing an activity, okay, tomorrow to make sure that we're really good on these terms and understand what is going on when dealing with credit and FICO. Welcome to part 2 of the credit lecture, and in this part we're talking about credit cards. What will you learn? Again, it's going to be the same standard, the whole entire unit. Demonstrate sound consumer decision making when purchasing goods or services and the effects they have on budgeting. So if you haven't already, you need to open up the lecture in a new tab so you can watch these videos, look at these links that I've put into this lecture. So let's go ahead and look at this first commercial. I really want you to get, the feel. All right, so when you're looking at what message did they portray, right? Really trying to build on that, being a good parent, you need to give these experiences, right? That you have like a great conversation and you need to do it somewhere fun that costs you money, okay? Which is absolutely false, but they do a really, really good job of that. Now let's go to the next commercial. I'm looking at this commercial, right? What do they portray? Okay, now they're trying to be a little bit funny here, right? Reversing the roles, having Peyton Manning, which was a sports athlete, right? Where we would go to him and want his signature, do all of those things. And now he's coming to us. So again, having that funny intention, but truly saying the cost of getting your favorite athlete's autograph or selfie. Now, when you look at this commercial, what is it trying to portray? Again, it's funny. It's a celebrity, right? And they even talk about impulse buying and how good it is. And again, because she's earned it and she gets cash back. Well, she's a celebrity. She has the money to do this. Most Americans don't. But again, we go, oh, well, Tina Fey did it. Yeah, I should do it too. I should feel good. Absolutely. I've earned this when you don't have enough money. Okay, so now we're going to really get into start looking at some credit cards. So the first link we have right here is creditcards.com, which is going to look like this, right? Which allows you to search by card category, search by your credit score, right? This is such a great website. Okay, so that's the first one. And again, what we're looking for is APR. So what is a percent? APR, that's 0%. How long is that? So they're not going to charge you any interest, but how long does that go for? Okay, what's the annual fee? So just to hold the card in your pocket every single year, what does that cost? What's the credit score? And then what are the rewards? Okay, so you can have travel rewards, cash back, coupons, donations. I mean, there's tons and tons of rewards. Now, the next one we're going to go to is Nerd Wallet, which again just compares the best credit cards, has the best credit cards. So again, another great website to scroll through, like I said, compare reviews. It has a whole section out there when you look at all of these things, right? Balance transfer, best zero APR cards. So again, a great link. Store credit cards. Okay, here's a store credit card. So when you look at Costco, when you're looking at Target, Kohl's, Walmart, Best Buy, Macy's, Sears, Amazon, right? So looking at what would be the benefits of having a store credit card. Now what we're going to do is we are going to look at a nice little discussion here. Okay, so what you guys are going to have to do is you are going to have to fill in each one of these. One that has zero APR, one that has balance transfer, cashback, travel. Now, if you find a card that does a lot of these, you can put the same card in there. So as you can see right here, what we've had previous students do. How long is the APR? How long is that? What is the percent? Their credit, okay, and what are your rewards? Now, not all of the credit cards are going to post this information. Fill it out the best you can because we'll be talking about it tomorrow in our activity day. And I really want you to look at who has better cards. Is it just normal credit cards or store credit cards? We are going to answer that question tomorrow. Now, another couple of videos right here. Credit cards, good and bad. I want you to have all of the resources, so go ahead and click on those. Okay, really get that feel of what we have going on. Now, the big thing with credit cards is interest, and the payments. Okay, so go ahead and click on this interest. It's going to pop you up to a video which does an amazing job explaining it. And then we are going to need to know this one right here, the minimum payment calculator, okay, which will allow us to enter information in to determine how long it's going to take to pay off credit cards and how much money it's going to spend. So to make sure that we're really good on this, okay, we need to be able to do these examples. I'm not going to insult you guys. I know that you get the page. You can fill in all this information according to this. So make sure that you know how to be able to do that. More importantly, you know bank rate. Okay. Now, tomorrow we will do a credit card activity. We'll answer a lot of these questions, and I will be talking about the black card. So remind me there. But that is it for part 2 of the credit lecture, all about credit cards. Welcome to the buying a car section in this credit lecture. In this part, again, we're going to demonstrate sound consumer decision making when purchasing goods or services and the effects they have on our budgeting. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, when we're looking at this picture right here, what year is this Ford F-150? Would you say it's newer, older, maybe in the middle? Again, what year? Now let's compare it to this one. Now, is this one newer or older than the last one I showed you? What about this one? Is this the newest one, the oldest one, the one in the middle? Again, between the red F-150 and the blue F-150. Now, hopefully you said that this was the newest one. This one was right in the middle, and this is the oldest one. Okay, now let's go and do a car. Maybe you know cars better. Okay, so here we go. We have a Mercedes. So, again, what year is this one? What about this one? Which one do you think is newer? Option A, option B, and let's go to the last one, option C. Again, which year are they, and which one is newer and older? Now, the reason why we do this is to show that a lot of people, they do not know exactly what year these are. But when we buy cars, we feel like we have to get the newest one. And it's so interesting because most people do not know what exactly year it is. So we're buying things because of our self-opinion, almost kind of, self-worth due to other people that we will never meet. It's very interesting with cars that we always need the newest car because we feel that people are going to notice. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to get in a series of videos. So if you haven't already pulled up the lecture, you need to do that. We're on slide 44, and I want you to watch this video called Are You Entitled?, which is by our guy Dave Ramsey. Very interesting points right there. Again, only making half of the median income. He's 20 something years old, right? Probably just out of college, but again, has that opinion. All right, now what we're going to get is the fun part of how to buy cars according to Dave Ramsey. So again, another great video for you to watch about how to buy cars. Is very, very effective. So great video right there. A lot of good stuff, kind of very interesting, right? If you could just save, right? Everyone wants to go to car buying and they want it right now, but if you could actually save, you will really reap the benefits. All right, now let's go to this, an infographic on new cars. This is right here. Again, talking about how quickly a new car loses value. Okay, so we have a new car, $29,000. They're saying you haven't even driven it, and then you buy it, take it off the lot, you drive it for 1 minute, you literally drive 1 mile, and you bring it back, and it's only worth $27,000. So it's dropped $2,500. You know, and then you continue to go through here, and you really see how fast the value of the car has dropped. Now, again, they always say after 5 years, it will still go down, but not as rapid. Okay, so when you look at it, if you brought a brand new car, it's only worth $12,000, but you're paying a loan for $27,000. So wow, $15,000 that it has dropped. Now, when we're going through this, okay, you need to find a website to purchase a vehicle, because that's what we're going to do in our activity. So go ahead and search a couple of those if you do not know. Okay, so go ahead and get with that. Then we'll move on, and when you're looking to research car, okay, so again, maybe you saw Auto Trader, maybe you found Kelley Blue Book, and maybe you found a Carfax. Okay, these are great websites. When you really look at it, Kelley Blue Book, that's going to tell you the value of the car. So when you're looking to buy a new car or buy a used car, okay, it will actually show you how to find the value and what it's actually worth, so you're getting the best deal. Carfax, very big. Okay, the history of the car, let you know when it was serviced, and we're really looking to see if there's any accidents, to see if there's any gaps. When I bought my truck, I was determining between two cars or two trucks, and the Carfax was actually the difference because one had a very detailed list of the Carfax all the way up to the point where it was turned into the dealership, while the other truck did not have anything registered, nothing at all, for 30,000 miles. There was no record of it. So that's just very, very, kind of interesting. All right, now I want you to think of ways to buy cars. Okay, what have you heard? And to do that, we're really going to watch this video called Leasing versus Buying. Truly the two types of ways to buy a car. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. A couple of things that I just want to see, like who put it out. It was by Toyota. Look how the guys are dressed, just very common people. But again, positive and negatives to both. I don't think there's a better one, just which one fits your lifestyle better. Now, another video from Dave Ramsey talking about how serious this issue is buying a car. How many people are taking out loans and the types of loans. Unreal, right? That most people are taking out loans subprime, right? So they're getting the worst rate because they need that new vehicle. Now, what we need to do is we're looking at registering a car. So we need to go to the DMV, right? Idaho's DMV. It needs to be this website that you're seeing right here, okay, the .gov, and you're going to answer those questions. So again, we got some tabs up here that might be of help right here on the right hand side, but most importantly down here at the bottom, this is where we're looking for. Okay, so go ahead and explore this. Make sure that you can answer all of these questions: the cost of registration, the cost of a driver's license, what other services can you have online, and how many license plates are available. Now to finish up this lecture, we got a couple more slides. This first one is tips on buying a car. This is by Dave Ramsey right here. So the 10 car buying tips. This is a great article. It even has a video of Dave Ramsey. If you want to watch, or if you're sick and tired of watching Dave Ramsey, you can just read this article. Very, very short, but it's a lot of great tips for you. And then lastly, what we're going to do, I want you to find your dream car, and I want you to find it as a new car, a 5-year-old car, or a 10-year-old car. So there's a Google Doc activity that will go right here. So you can see my dream car, 1985 El Camino. So I found it for $11,000. Now I'm going to go 5 years older. Now this is a classic, so I'm actually going to go the opposite way. So if you are truly a classic, I don't care which way you go, but when you look at it, okay, 1980, $15,000, and 1975 is $20,000. So it really doesn't matter. But if you're picking a newer car, obviously you're going to pick a 2019 or 2018 and go back from there. If you're going to click on a classic, I don't care. You could have went from a 1985 to a 1990 to a 1995. Now they stopped making El Caminos, I think in 1987-ish. So there'd be no record of that. So it definitely would have to go the opposite way. So again, put your name, put the car, find a picture, and tell me how much it's worth in the year. Okay. So that is it for the lecture. Tomorrow we will do a bunch of car activity, but the big one that we'll do is a car loan activity. Welcome to the student loan section in this credit lecture. Let's go and get started. So again, we have the same learning objective standard that we're trying to achieve. Demonstrate sound consumer decision making when purchasing goods or services and the effects they have on budgeting. All right, so if you haven't already, like always, you need to open up the lecture, okay, in another tab, so you can watch these videos or get to these articles that we're going to watch or read. Now, this first one, Voice of Debt, this is a great video that I want you to watch. Again, interviewing a bunch of young people, talking about how much debt they have for student loans. So go ahead and watch that video. I love this video. A lot of good things, positive and negatives. Be ready to discuss this in class tomorrow. But again, the benefits of going to college and taking out a student loan, and truly the negative side of it as well. All right, next we're going to go to the website that I wish I would have known of, the student aid website. Okay, and this has all of the great terms, right? So FAFSA, if you filled out FAFSA yet, hey, this website, but literally talks about all the different things that we can have. We're going to get a lot of research from this site, and this is the site that we need to have, right? So preparing, types of aid, who gets aid, FAFSA, repay your loans. So again, that's studentaid.ed.gov. So when I say that, this is what I want you to do, okay? We're going to have to research what is a subsidized loan, unsubsidized, a Perkin loan, a PLUS loan, private education loans, and 3 educational grants, okay? Name 3 of them. So that's the website that you're going to get all of these answers. Now, all right, some other terms that we need to know that's very crucial is grace period, okay? Grace period is when you finish school, or like it says, go below full time. Now, notice I said finish. Doesn't mean graduate. It means you finish. Okay, so that means if you drop out, fall below full time, or graduate. Okay, so you have 6 months to really make sure that you get everything in order to start making payments. Okay, deferment, that means you got to postpone them, but the interest is still growing. And then forbearance means that you are going to lower your payment. Okay, really big. Again, you have to apply for these. You have to talk to your student loan provider. Hey, but those are the things that you're looking for. Now, again, our boy Dave Ramsey, again, talking about the importance of college. Okay, and really, are you bringing value to the marketplace? So go ahead and watch that video. Now, this next video, the importance of college. This is a TED Talk in Seattle, and this is just big, kind of showing the student loan bubble. What is it doing to young people? What is it doing to our country? Okay, so check out this video. It's a great video. You guys can skip around, but definitely watch the last 8 minutes of the video. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a couple things that he mentioned in here. So free certifications. We have edX.org, Coursera, and Udacity. These are some great free certificates. Please click on these. See what you guys can get for free now or little cost. Kind of go at your own pace. Very exciting because I think this is where education is truly going. But really good. Now, the last thing that we're going to do for today is I want you to click on this link. This is a group discussion. Enter the amount of tuition to your dream post-secondary school. So when you look at it, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so go ahead, college 1, college 2, college 3. Go ahead and post everything. Now, you will know that some of them, like my California Lutheran, has tuition, then has room and board separated, while Idaho State had everything just in one. So that is it. And then my master's, $3,100 for every 6 months. So go ahead again, put your name and find 3 schools that you want to go to and how much it costs to go there. Tomorrow we will talk a lot about these videos, and we'll have a student loan activity. So make sure that you are prepared, and see you guys tomorrow. Welcome to part 4 of this credit lecture. This part is living with credit. What you will learn, and it's been the same through the whole entire unit, is demonstrate sound consumer decision making when purchasing goods or service and the effects they have on budgeting. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is renting. Okay, when you rent, people will look at your credit to again see what is your credit score, to see if you can pay payments on time. So now when we're talking about renting, no customizations without their approval. And when we say approval, that better be in writing. You will hear a story in class later on talking about the nightmares of renting from me personally. Now, you will lease, okay, and you have a few options. You have month to month, 6 month, and a year. Now, if we had to rank those to get the lowest price for renting, is going to be a year, and then next 6 months, and then month to month. Again, not always like that, but some companies, some landlords might give a break if you sign a year lease. And again, when he says month to month, usually you have to give 30 days notice to let them know that either you are leaving or they found another tenant. But again, that would be in a contract. Now, when we talk about renting, you will hear this term called security deposit, which might be first and last. So if you were finding a place to rent for $1,000 and they were asking for first and last, so that, before you move in, you have to have $2,000, or they might it might be a different amount. So maybe rent's $1,000, but they might ask for a security deposit of $500. So before you move in, you have to have $1,500. And again, that is for damages. They want to hold the money. Some places allow you to get that money back. Some of them say that no matter what, no matter how clean it is, we're going to spend $200 for a cleaning crew to come through here. So really depends on the landlord, and that should be stated in the contract that you are signing. Now, the one thing that a lot of people do not think of, especially with renting, is insurance. Okay, insurance is really big, and we'll talk about this in a later unit. Okay, but to have insurance, only $15 and $35 a month, and it covers all of your items inside the place that you live. It's super important because, again, things might happen, stuff might get stolen, okay? And again, that is protected through insurance. You'd be surprised how much is not protected from the landlord. Okay, so again, I cannot say that enough, but again, we'll talk about that in another unit. Now, when you look at your rights as the tenant, okay, you got to be able to live in a safe place, right? No leaks, no exposed wiring, private bathroom. That means it has a door. Okay, they have to take care of the property. You might have to take care of the property. That might be built in the contract. Liability, fire, injury, stolen goods, that's on you. Okay, so again, if you create a fire, you might have to pay for the damages not only to your unit but multiple units if you are living in a multi-unit residence. Okay, and then sublease. Some landlords in the contract said this is not allowed. Some do, but say you need to move. For whatever reason, maybe you get a transfer, this and that. There's a million different things, but meaning that you could lease it out under you. Now, if the person that you're leasing to doesn't pay, you're still responsible for paying the rent each month. About landlord rights, okay? The warranty of habitability. So again, you have to live clean, okay? If you are not living clean, you are not keeping up the property, they can kick you out. They have the right to evict you. If you break the contract in any way, they can evict you. They have to pay property taxes. Again, they must provide safe living conditions, and if something happens, okay, they are responsible for taking care of that. And the Fair Housing Act, just like in anything, you cannot discriminate against anyone. So again, the credit score really comes into effect because that has no discrimination, so that could be a determining factor. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about maybe buying a house. Maybe you would like to buy a house and it's in your future. Okay, so what we're looking at right here is, step one. You need to look at what can you afford. And when I say what can you afford, meaning what is the mortgage, okay? What is your credit score? Are you looking at a fixed, variable rate, and then a real estate agent? Okay, and we're going to go into so much more detail about these, but this is what you're kind of looking, for. What do you want to do? So step two, you need to find a real estate agent. Okay, that's very, very big. You can go on reputation. You got to be comfortable with them, right? Helps with inspection. They are the professional. They are the ones that go through 1 million homes a year. Okay, so they should be able to point some things out that you do not see because, again, you're trying to see if you can live there. You're not looking for the cracks in the concrete. You're not looking for maybe some leaks, this and that. So they should really be able to help you with that. If they don't, then you need to get a new one. Okay, and then the other thing is no promise. Now, if you are with a great real estate agent that is confident, they're not going to make you sign a contract. There are some real estate agents, as soon as you sit down, they make you sign a contract saying that they're the only person that can represent you. I would stay away from these because these are people that obviously do not rely on their skills. All right, step three now, when you're looking at buying a house. So what you actually do, so again, you search the market, you and a real estate agent, you actually find a house that you want to make an offer on, okay? Now, what's going to happen, this is negotiation. You're going to make an offer, they're going to counter, and again, it's all the little details of negotiating, okay? And it might be some closing cost, might be as is, right? So you want to have them improve something, right? So maybe they have a leak that you can see that there was water damage. They have to fix that. They might say yes. They might say no. Again, depending on the price and again, all the negotiation and the appliances. So you might say, hey, can you leave the appliances in there? And they might agree to that. Okay. So, so many different houses, depends on the owner, right, are so unique in this situation. So it's just that negotiating bit of it. All right, now let's move to step four, which again, you've made an offer, they've accepted, you've both signed. So now you're in escrow, you're in closing. Okay, so what's all happening? It's kind of one of the same, right? So you're looking at inspections, you're going through the transfer fee, the real estate agents, they get commission, usually 3 and 3, about 6%. That comes off the top of, you buying the house, selling the house. You have to pay for the taxes, right? So when you look at these things, this all happens at one time. So when you look at escrow, it's usually 30 days. Again, it could be different, again, negotiating, but again, all of these things are happening. So pretty much you're preparing to move into the house. So you have an inspector, like I said, make sure everything's good. You're talking to the lender, you're talking to the banks, right there, just happening, everything kind of behind the scenes. You really don't have to do anything to make sure that everything is good to go so we can transfer the ownership. Now, step 5, when you look at step 5, this is the mortgage, right? So you hear that was a mortgage. So that's the principal, that's the taxes, that's the interest, and that's the insurance. That's all in one. Okay, so you will just make a payment to your lender, and that will have everything wrapped up in it. Now, one thing that's going to happen no matter what is your mortgage is going to change lenders. Nothing really changes except for where you send the check. Okay, this is very, very common. I know when me and my wife bought our first house, our lender changed, I think, 3 times in the first year. So literally all it is okay, instead of sending it to this lender, we're going to send it to there. So don't freak out about that. Now, that is it for the credit unit. Okay, so what we're going to look at, tomorrow going to have buying a home activity. Also, remind me of sharing that renting nightmare. And then what you are going to do is you are going to have to do a credit presentation, and we are going to do a credit assessment. So we'll go much in detail about that in the next couple of days, but that is it for living with credit and credit union in general. Concludes the credit lecture. Again, so much useful information in this lecture that will apply directly when you get out of high school. Now, when you look at our projects, we are going to be doing an assessment, and you're going to be giving a presentation.